I quit. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome everyone to NoDQ Live here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRift_NoDQ. We are coming off Monday Night Raw in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, which will be hosting the 2019 SummerSlam weekend, which includes SummerSlam, NXT TakeOver, Toronto 2, right? And Monday Night Raw, and SmackDown Live, and Access events. Toronto is getting a big weekend coming up in 2019. Big Raw to discuss. Like last week, it was fairly eventful. I've seen some mixed feelings about Raw. I will definitely talk about the show and give my opinion on everything that happened. Also, I wanted to talk about the incident with Jason Sensation. For those of you that don't remember him, back in 1998, DX, parody of the Nation, and Jason Sensation was doing his portrayal of Owen Hart. I will talk about that after I do the Raw review, so stay tuned for that. Tom McCarthy with a $2 Super Chat donation. Stay on topic with Super Chats. I hope to do so, and thank you for that, Tom. That is a nice reminder. If you guys are planning to leave a Super Chat tonight, please try to stick to whatever the current topic is. Don't ask me, what do you think about Unforgiven 2006 or something like that. Let's just try to keep it on topic if you can. Anyways, Monday Night Raw. The show kicked off with, you guessed it, the big dog, Roman Reigns, the current Universal Champion, and the announcers were making a big deal about how, because Roman is the champion now, unlike Brock Lesnar, we're getting the champion on television. I think they brought up how Reigns was competing at the live events, so fans that attend those shows actually get to see the Universal Champion now, because, you know, Roman Reigns is a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's a good guy, and he is the guy, whether you like it or not. And you're going to keep paying WWE $9.99 a month, and you're going to complain, but as Batista once said, deal with it. Roman Reigns is the guy, Vince won, and we move on. So Roman Reigns came out, and he got the reaction. People are like, Roman Reigns sucks, he's terrible, but man, WWE, they got exactly what they want tonight. Reigns got the Cena reaction. He came out there, and the crowd was split down the middle, some cheering for him, some booing him, but they were loud. People were making a ton of noise for Roman Reigns in Toronto. What else can be said? Braun Strowman came out. He got in Roman Reigns' face, and we had the big storyline advancement here. Strowman announced that he is going to cash in his Money in the Bank contract at Hell in a Cell in the one match where Roman Reigns' Shield brothers, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, cannot interfere. And that, of course, is inside Hell in a Cell. Now, I just laugh at that because Hell in a Cell has had plenty of interference over the years. Let's be real here. Still, at least we have the match set now. The contract is being cashed in. Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns for the title at Hell in a Cell. So there you go. We had Dolph Record Scratch Ziggler come out along with Drew McIntyre, and Baron Corbin came out, and basically Ziggler and McIntyre challenged Strowman and Reigns for the main event. A tag team match, and Baron Corbin just came out and confirmed it. And while he was out there, Baron Corbin, or Constable Corbin I should say, decided he wanted another match with Finn Balor. And he told Balor to come out there, bring your jacket, come out here and fight me. And Balor obliged. Balor came out with his Fonz jacket. We had Finn Balor versus Constable Corbin. And Corbin got himself DQ'd with a steel chair. Then he decided, you know what? Since he's the Constable, he decided to announce to everyone that the match was actually a no DQ match. He just forgot to say it. So he came in and he used the chair on Balor and then pinned Balor to win. So for those of you keeping track at home, I believe this is the 4th televised match in the span of a month between these two. We had the match at Extreme Rules. Then Corbin won the rematch on Raw. Then the Demon won at SummerSlam. And now Corbin won again. So they're 2 apiece, which means this feud must continue. And I guess we're getting a 5th match between these guys. But man, I just don't have much interest in either of these guys. I thought this match was pretty boring. Corbin doing his rest holds. They just don't really mesh up well, in my opinion. I was pretty bored with this. And the fans were chanting, "You can't wrestle" at Corbin, by the way. Just wanted to add that. Then we had a match with Sasha Banks and Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke got booked into this match by Titus O'Neil, and Apollo Crews is like, well, wait a minute. She's only wrestled like once in the past year. And Titus is like, well, you know, she's gotta go out there. She'll be all right. She'll do her thing. And of course, Sasha won. Pretty nothing match here. Just Sasha Banks picking up the win, and yeah, filler. Not much else to say about it. Then we had probably the highlight of the show. We had Seth Rollins come out and he issued his open challenge, and this led to Kevin Owens coming out and accepting the challenge. Owens got a big pop, but you got to give Owens credit. He did everything he could here to get the crowd to boo him. He started talking in French. He talked about how Montreal is the best city, and that got a ton of heat. So I got to give Owens credit. That was well done. That was a good way to get heat in his home country. And these guys had a pay-per-view quality match. I mean, this was awesome. Why don't we get to see these types of matches on pay-per-view? This should be on a SummerSlam pay-per-view or even a WrestleMania pay-per-view. We don't get these kind of matches on the pay-per-views. Why do we get them on Raw and not the pay-per-views? I don't get it. But yeah, this was definitely a pay-per-view quality match. And if I recommend watching anything from Raw this week, you definitely should check out this match. We had some cool moments in this match too, like Kevin Owens actually hitting the Stone Cold Stunner, which got a holy shit chant from the fans. I thought that was hilarious. I'm curious to see Steve Austin's reaction, because I know when John Cena was doing the Springboard Stunner, Austin was critical of it because it wasn't actually a finisher. And Rollins did, in fact, kick out of the Stone Cold Stunner. I wonder how Austin will react to that. Time will tell. Maybe he already said something on Twitter. I don't know. I was actually quite busy on Twitter between trying to watch Raw, trying to post the updates about Jason Sensation. It was a hectic night tonight. But yeah, and Rollins sold it great too. Just wanted to add that as well. Braden says Disco Inferno doing the stunner was good. Yeah, the Chart Buster. What about the Disciple? Didn't he do the stunner also? I think 2 or 3 guys in WCW did the stunner. Didn't it annoy you when guys in WCW, this is off topic here, but I know for me at least, I found it annoying when WCW wrestlers would steal WWE stars' moves, like Fit Finlay would do the tombstone, and yeah, I just wasn't a fan of that. But anyways, back to Monday Night Raw. Great match here. Lots of near falls. The crowd was really into this. They were chanting, "This is awesome." And then Owens went for his moonsault, but Rollins moved out of the way and then hit the curb stomp, the blackout stomp, whatever you want to call it, to pick up the win. And I just wanted to say also that near fall with the buckle bomb. Rollins did the buckle bomb and Owens came right back with the super kick, you know, the no selling of it, the very indie-like sequence. I thought that that was great. I mean, the crowd really bought into it, and they were red hot for the match. Great match by these guys. Definitely worth checking out. After the commercial break, we had Owens still in the ring. He was completely distraught, and then he just uttered the two words, "I quit," and then he walked off. So where does this go from here? I've seen people with their little all-in graphics already, but Owens reportedly just signed a new 5-year deal with WWE. He's not going anywhere. So this is 100% a storyline, and we'll see where things go. But nice try, people out there with your all-in graphics. Very cute. And hey, I'm sure people will try to capitalize on that and try to create some buzz. But yeah, he's going nowhere. And then we had Spirit Squad 2.0 against the Revival. So another rematch. And then I'll get to what's going to happen next week in a second. Addicted Chip with a $2 super chat donation. Owens needs to turn face. He's a good heel, but the crowd loves him so much. I mean, I'm really curious to see what they do with him. I mean, they could turn him babyface. Maybe him and Sami Zayn could be faces when Zayn comes back. Who knows? Power Packers 90 with a $2 super chat donation. WWE did it to Billy Gunn's jackhammer, anyone? That is true, and that was not a very good-looking jackhammer, in my opinion. I think he was way better off with the Fameasser. Just my opinion, though. So we had the B team versus the Revival, and we had the Revival pick up the win here. So this was officially the first loss of the B team since they became a duo separate from The Miz, since the B team actually formed. This was their first actual loss, and nobody cared. The crowd really did not react much to this match. They kind of did the B team, go, go, go during the entrance, but anytime Curtis Axel tried to get it going during the match, didn't work. Crowd really didn't care about these guys. Revival won with the Shatter Machine, and they beat up both guys after the match. They got on the mic. They said the tag division has sucked. It's been a joke ever since the B team won the tag team titles. And next week, they get another match. This was a non-title match. So next week, they're going to have another match. More Revival B team, more rematches. You got to love WWE. They just do these rematches constantly. But good promo here. I mean, I'm not really looking forward to seeing another match. I just hope Revival wins, and that's the end of the B team. If B team wins next week, then yeah, I think all hope is lost when it comes to the Revival. Just saying. Spider Dan says, trade Owens for Harper. Wyatts can reform. How about the Riot Squad and Bray Wyatt form a group, the Wyatt Riots? Just because it sounds cute. All right, and real quick here before I get to the next segment, this Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, NoDQ presents Call In. I will be doing a 2-hour live stream. People can call in on Skype, and my Skype username is nodqrift@gmail.com. Check it out this Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Will you be calling in? That remains to be seen. But everyone is welcome. Now, back to Monday Night Raw. We had Elias come out to do his song, his segment for the evening. And by the way, Mega Mr. 46 with a $2 super chat donation. Kevin Owens quits. Oh, this is a happy day for me. Wow, Mega Mr. 46. Why are you so negative on Kevin Owens? Kevin Owens is the man. He's a great performer. Darn it, Braden's going to miss CallIn. That's a bummer. But hopefully most of you will make it. And the Boston Punk says the Bray Wyatt Squad. I can't even say correctly when you type it out for me. The Bray Wyatt Squad. There we go. Try saying that 5 times fast. Bray Wyatt Squad, Bray Wyatt Squad, Bray Wyatt Squad, Bray Wyatt Squad, Bray Wyatt Squad. I tried. All right. So next up we had Elias, and the fans were doing a Walk with Elias chant. He started insulting the city as usual. I wonder, does Elias like any towns? Because it seems like every week he's insulting whatever city WWE is in. Has Elias actually put over a town? Maybe Virtue knows, since he's the biggest Elias fan. But anyways, he was talking trash about Toronto. And then we had the big interruption, which thankfully was not Bobby Lashley, but rather Trish Stratus. As I speculated about over the past couple of days, Raw was in Toronto. You got Evolution coming up. Makes sense for Trish Stratus to be there. And sure enough, she showed up. She got in Elias's face. They started exchanging words with each other, trading insults. Trish told him to silence his cell phone, hold his applause, and most importantly, shut his mouth. Elias said he was looking forward to Trish's Braun panties match or evening gown match, whatever it was, whatever he said, with Alexa Bliss at Evolution. And then Elias said he doesn't date women in their 60s because he felt like Trish wanted to walk with Elias, but he's not interested in women in their 60s. And that's when Trish slapped Elias. She was offended about that. And then we had Ronda Rousey come out along with Natalya. And then Alexa Bliss came out with Alicia Fox. Alexa cut a promo to set up Evolution. Interesting show tonight. This is the era we're in right now, where WWE will be promoting 3 different pay-per-view events in one night. Definitely something we would have never seen in a different era. But now, the $9.99 network era, 3 events. We have Hell in a Cell coming up, which got built up on Raw. We got the Super Showdown. We had several interview video packages during the show with various legends like Steve Austin and Booker T and DDP, Jeff Jarrett even. All these guys were talking about their predictions for Undertaker and Triple H. So you had the Super Showdown promotion, and then you had this segment with Alexa Bliss and Trish Stratus setting that up. We had Alicia Fox versus Natalya. Short match, not much to it. Natalya picked up the win. And then backstage, we had the Bella Twins show up. And next week, it will be the Bella Twins against the Riot Squad. So the question is, which brand is Brie Bella on? Is she part of SmackDown because she's in the mixed tag team match with her husband against the Miz and Maurice? Or is she on Raw because she's competing on Raw? So yeah, not really made clear here, but I guess since the Bella Twins are such big stars, they can be on both shows. You got me. I don't know. They're like John Cena, you know, since Nikki was dating John, I guess she's a free agent and she can be on both shows. And Big G just said it, talking about it. Free agents like John Cena. Brie mode on Mondays, Brie mode on Tuesdays. Brie mode 365 days a year. Whoop-de-freaking-do. All right, next up, we had We had Bobby Lashley come out for a match. So he was talking backstage with Baron Corbin, Constable Corbin, the current Raw general manager. And Corbin said Lashley was going to have a match, but Lashley would have to go to the ring and then find out his opponents. His opponents turned out to be the Ascension. So yes, it was in fact a handicapped match. And by the way, we have 340 live viewers right now, so thank you to everyone watching live. Much appreciated. We had Bobby Lashley make short work of the Ascension. This was fine. I mean, it's a showcase for Bobby Lashley. Ascension, they've been dead in the water for a while now. Whatever. Crowd still doesn't care about Lashley. He could beat up 2 guys, and the crowd still doesn't care about him. So yeah, whatever WWE's doing with Lashley, it's not working. Why not use the song he had in 2007, Hell Has a Name for You, or whatever the song's called? I'm sure somebody in the chat room will know the name of the song. Remember, I got my butt kicked by Greg Cherry in the trivia match, so I'm off when it comes to the names of the songs. I think it's like Hell Will Be Calling Your Name or something like that. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Hell Will Be Calling Your Name. Easy way to get people to cheer for Bobby Lashley. Give him his old music back, because his new music is complete garbage. I think that that's the first thing you can do, and there's definitely other things you can do. And by the way, if you are not familiar with the song, it is on Spotify. WWE just released Uncaged 5 with a lot of Jim Johnston compositions. I definitely recommend checking it out. Some cool stuff on there. All right, and moving on here, we had Dean Mother effing Ambrose against Jinder Mahal. There was a backstage segment earlier on the show where Jinder was trying to do his Shanti peace talk with Dean Ambrose, and Ambrose was like, you better step off or I'm going to kick your teeth down your throat or something like that. I don't remember the exact verbiage. But anyways, this did lead to a match, and it was just a quick match here. Dean Ambrose made short work of Jinder Mahal, and there you go, the WWE Champion getting beat in a one-segment quick match on Raw. Is anybody surprised? Big G sent in a $5 Super Chat donation. If you get 400 viewers for Call In and I call in, I will sing Bree Mode. All right, so there you have it. Big G said if there are 400 live viewers for Call In, he will call in and sing Bree Mode live on Call In. So there you go. And Mike B with a $5 Super Chat donation. Aaron Rift effing rocks, and so does NoDQ. Yeah, but didn't you hear, Mike B? NoDQ's not cool anymore, according to this one guy on Twitter. But thank you nonetheless for the Super Chat. I appreciate it from everybody. And TJS with a $2 Super Chat donation. He says, looks like we're actually getting non-goofy Dean. Yeah, so I guess Dean Ambrose's new gimmick now, or change of a gimmick, is he has shorter hair and he just makes a mean face and doesn't make jokes as much. I guess that's the character evolution of Dean Ambrose. But I will say, he's in great shape. He actually wrestled without a shirt on. So there you go. Ambrose is looking good and he's playing it seriously. I still think the guy needs a heel turn. Don't think it's happening, but you know how it is. The Boston Punk says if Walter White, he's talking about, makes a cameo on Better Call Saul, I'll sing Bree Mode 2. All right, so a lot of people are making bets and stipulations to sing Bree Mode. This is getting weird here. All right, and let's see. Anything else? No, I guess we're up to the main event now. So we had the tag team match, Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman against Drew McIntyre and Dolph Record Scratch Ziggler. Before the match, they did the typical backstage promo with the two baby faces working together, like, you know what, I don't like you, but we're going to go out there and coexist, blah, blah, blah. Usual stuff. And then we had the tag match, and we had a little bit of a swerve here, although I shouldn't say I'm surprised, and I don't think anybody's really surprised by this. Basically, what happened, it was Roman Reigns getting beat up by both guys, and they were teasing the hot tag for a while. Finally, Strowman made the hot tag, but then he didn't do anything. He just stood there, and then we had Ziggler and McIntyre beating up Reigns. Referee called for the bell, and then Strowman got in the ring and started attacking Roman Reigns, and then it was basically a 3-on-1 beatdown of Roman Reigns. And we had Dean Ambrose come out, but he was fought off, and then Seth Rollins came out, and he was also fought off. Grant Peoples with a $2 Super Chat donation. Have you ever watched Booker T's ROW on YouTube? No, I haven't. And Grant, I appreciate the Super Chat, but you're off topic. Anyways, back to what I was saying. The show ended with Braun Strowman and his new allies standing tall. So it looks like Strowman's a heel again. And I know people are going to say, well, last week the Shield did the 3-on-1 beatdown, but Strowman was acting like a heel here. It was a heelish beatdown, and he wasn't attacking the other guys. And Strowman before was this loner type, so now he's got an alliance. At least if it was the Wyatt family, it would be the guys he used to run with. But he's working with the obvious, blatant heels that are Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. Mike B with a $5 Super Chat donation. That guy is jealous. It doesn't matter what he says. NoDQ will always rock. Annoy the jealous haters. Thank you for that. I tried to ignore the haters, but you know what? The haters are going to hate, hate, hate. And I don't know how the rest of the lyrics go to that. So I'll just leave it at that. I'll tell you what. If 400 people watch live on Thursday for Call-In, I'll bust out a little Taylor Swift. How about that? All right, and now to finalize my thoughts on Raw. I wasn't a big fan of this ending. Strowman, I guess, is a heel again, but it's just going against what the fans want. Although, I will say, at the end of the show, the crowd was booing Braun Strowman. But maybe they were just booing because they weren't a fan of the booking. They're like, we don't want to boo Braun Strowman, so we're booing this because we think this sucks, and we don't like him being a heel. It could have been that kind of reaction. So yeah, I feel like for a lot of fans, this is going against what they want. Strowman could just easily be the face of the company, and Roman Reigns could turn heel, and you could do it that way, and people would enjoy it much more. It would be a change of pace. You know, we're just, now basically what we're getting is the same exact thing we already saw with Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns. It's basically Braun Strowman being the heel, saying, I'm not finished with you. They're just repeating their storyline from last year. You could just make it interesting, change things up, have Roman Reigns be a heel, have Braun Strowman be a babyface. But no, WWE has to go with what they want to do, and it's boring. You know, I wasn't a big fan of this ending for Raw. Power Packers 90 with a $2 Super Chat donation. In 2 weeks, WWE turned two super over people heel. Yeah, pretty much, you know. With the Becky thing, see, I will give my thoughts on Becky here in a second. I do have some thoughts on that. Big G left a $5 Super Chat donation. Thank you for that, Big G. Ronda Rousey and the Bella Twins for Riot Squad and Shield versus Strowman, Ziggler, and McIntyre Super Showdown. Man, that was a mouthful. I guess those are the matches he's predicting for Super Showdown. So I do want to talk about Becky Lynch here. I'll save that here for a few minutes. Maybe I'll talk about it tomorrow since Becky Lynch is SmackDown. And I want to see what they do also before I give more thoughts on it. And thank you for the positive comments in the chat room. And as Curtis Butler says, Roman has too many make-a-wishes to be a heel. And what's going on with... What did they announce on WWE.com? I'm confused. A bunch of people are saying WWE announced something. Now I got to look it up. Yeah, I'm not sure what they're confirming, but... Yes, at Money in the Bank, Braun Strowman has officially cashed in the contract, and it is going to be a hell in a cell match to prevent outside interference, even though Strowman's apparently a heel now. I don't know. Oh, I guess we have those matches confirmed for the Super Showdown. So wait a minute. Are you serious? I gotta look this up. They're seriously doing those matches for Super Showdown. Well, this isn't loading here, so I don't know what's going on here. The Riot Squad versus the Bellas. I know they announced that for next week. Tony Brain says, what's up, Aaron? Just joining in. All right, so first of all, let me do my letter grade for Raw, and then we'll get to some of the other topics here. And that didn't work. I had some technical issues here. So I really enjoyed Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens. And I like the Kevin Owens quitting storyline. I think that helped Owens, him having a really strong match with Seth Rollins after coming off that big loss. And I like how Owens had the excuse that Sami Zayn wasn't there with him. If Sami Zayn was by his side, he would have been Braun Strowman. So at least he used that as an excuse, as a heel would do. And then quitting afterwards keeps it interesting to see what's going to happen with Kevin Owens next. And at least he has some sort of storyline. Unlike somebody like Jinder Mahal, who's just pretty much dead in the water now. So I really enjoyed that. And it's hard for me to give Raw a bad grade because of the Seth Rollins stuff. And there you go. Seth Rollins once again being the show stealer. I gotta say, Rollins is perhaps the WWE MVP of 2018 because more times than not, he saves the show from being a big disappointment. So overall, I give this show a C+. I'm not going to give it a D. Rollins and Owens, and that took up a good chunk of Raw too. That took up a good 30 minutes between their match, the promo before the match, and then Owens afterwards. But there was a lot of things I did not care for on the show, most notably the main event segment. I feel the fans are still being forced to react a certain way. So yeah, I'm giving the show a C+, slightly above average, thanks to Rollins and Owens. Those guys were definitely the MVPs of Monday Night Raw. And let's not forget Elias and Trish. So that helped as well. So I give Raw C+, slightly above average. It's not a negative grade for the show. A C+ is still above average. Just not that much above average because I felt the show was a mixed bag. All right, so that's my letter grade. Now let's talk about Jason Sensation. For those of you that missed it, Jason Sensation was a brief performer in WWE in 1998. He dressed up as Owen Hart for a parody of The Nation when DX did that parody. Great segment, really funny moment in WWE history. Jason Sensation is from Canada, and he would do different impressions. He did Bret Hart on Raw also. He did The Undertaker. He did Steve Austin. He was also part of the Corporation parody in late '98. He did Shawn Michaels. So what happened was Jason Sensation, about an hour before Raw, posted on Twitter that he had successfully gotten a gun through security and was going to shoot himself during Monday Night Raw. So naturally, everybody's freaking out here. Vince Russo responded, Joey Ryan and a number of other people. Lots of people were calling the police about this, and people were freaking out, wondering if he was going to hurt himself or possibly hurt somebody else, even though he never threatened anybody. He said he was going to shoot himself. And then it came out, I think, on Vince Russo's channel. Vince Russo was doing a live stream on his Twitch account, and Russo said that he had gotten a hold of Jason, and the whole thing was a joke, meant to be a joke. Jason was just joking around and was sorry about what he said. And the Toronto police issued a statement stating that there's no public safety issues, and they were talking with Jason. No word yet if the police are going to arrest him. This is a very serious thing to say, especially coming off a shooting, but really any time it's not an appropriate thing to say. So clearly something's going on here with Jason Sensation, and the guy needs some mental help. I will say that. The guy needs to get some help. It was a very, very poor joke to make. And, you know, people take this stuff seriously. People are very, very paranoid about their own safety because of all these shootings lately. But really, it's never a good time to make a comment like this. And yeah, the guy was probably seeking attention, but I feel like there's something deeper here, and I hope the guy gets the help. I feel he really needs it. And it's a shame too, because I'm definitely a Jason Sensation fan. I think those impressions are excellent. I think he's always done great stuff with the impressions. But yeah, something's going on here, and I hope the guy gets help. So sorry to talk a little bit negative here. I like to keep things upbeat, but this was a pretty big story today, and it kept me busy during parts of Raw, so I didn't even have time to do much on Twitter. I was trying to tweet, watch Raw, cover the Jason Sensation thing, try to get more information on that. Yeah, it's been a busy day, and lots of news up on NoDQ.com today, of course, so stay tuned to NoDQ for the very latest. Tony H says, what are your Becky thoughts? I'm going to save that for tomorrow night. I got to have some topics for tomorrow, and I want to see what happens on SmackDown this week with Becky. But I do have some thoughts on it, on the situation with Becky turning heel. I will talk about that tomorrow night. I will give my thoughts on that. And Canaanite says, I'd be shitting myself if that came out while I was at Raw Live. Well, apparently, from what I've heard, a lot of people in the arena were not aware of what was going on, although there were police officers that were apparently in the building, and there was more of a police presence because of what Jason Sensation wrote. And see, that's the thing about what Jason Sensation said. You know, he's joking around, whether he's trying to draw attention to himself or if he's got some serious issues. When you make a comment like that, the police are using their resources to investigate this when there could be a serious situation that the police are not attending to. So when you make a joke like this, you could be putting somebody's life at risk. So that's why it's never an appropriate joke to make, because you have to think about the consequences of what you're saying. When the police take the threat seriously, which they need to, you know, they're not gonna look at it as a joke. They're gonna take it seriously, and they're gonna use their resources. So that's really something, you know, it's very selfish to make a joke like that. And I don't think it's even thinking about the consequences when somebody makes a joke like that. All right, enough of that. Grant Peoples with a $2 Super Chat donation. Your thoughts on the Hollywood Blondes tag team from WCW? All right, well, this is off the topic of Raw, but I will talk about it since I've said my piece about Monday Night Raw. I thought the Hollywood Blondes was a great tag team in WCW. It definitely showed the potential of both Austin and Pillman, and was really a breakout moment for both guys. And in typical WCW fashion, they dropped the ball with those guys. They were getting hot, and then WCW split them up. WCW would do that a lot, and there's been a lot of reports and speculation over the years that there were people in WCW that wanted to make sure certain guys did not get to a certain level, and there was that glass ceiling. So for people like Steve Austin and Brian Pillman, when they were getting hot, WCW broke them up. And we saw this many times. You know, another example would be Kurt Hennig and the West Texas Rednecks with the Rap is Crap. That was getting red hot, but then basically it screwed up WCW's storyline with Master P. And by the way, as much as I complain about WWE today, I was watching some of those Nitros and Thunders with Master P. my goodness, those were some of the worst televised segments I've ever seen. Master P. Okay, I never heard of the guy before he showed up in WCW. And they did this little phony baloney press conference where they said he was like the 10th highest paid entertainer of 1998. I never heard of the guy before he showed up in WCW, and I haven't heard of him since. What has he done? Was he really that famous? Does anybody out there actually know how successful he was? Because I've never heard of the guy before WCW. I never heard of anything he's done since WCW. But yeah, it was terrible. And what happened was Master P was supposed to be a babyface, but the West Texas Rednecks were so popular with the Southern wrestling fans in WCW that Master P and his crew were booed out of the building. I think the Nitro they did in New Orleans, it was supposed to be Master P's hometown or whatever, and they got booed out of the building, and the West Texas Rednecks were cheered. And then, of course, like a month later, the West Texas Rednecks were broken up. So there you go. But that was just some awful stuff. The hooey or whatever the hell it was. I mean, what the hell was that? That was like worse than anything on Monday Night Raw in 2018. So for those of you that say Raw's terrible and the segments are awful, that Master P was like, no wonder Bischoff got fired a couple months later. That was like total turn off television right there, where it's just so cringeworthy that you can't even stand to watch the show. And people didn't. They were tuning out at that point in rapid fashion. So apparently Master P was a gangster rapper in the 90s. He had gold and platinum albums, and after the 2000s he fell off. Master P is still worse than Bailey This Is Your Life. Master P is like the worst. That was just terrible. Man. Yeah, apparently Master P was huge in the 90s, but I never heard of him. Then again, I didn't really listen to much rap at that point. I think I was familiar with like Coolio, Gangster's Paradise, and maybe a few other acts like Tupac, and that's about it. But never Master P. Never heard of the guy. Alright, so I went on my little rant for the night there about Master P. I will go ahead and wrap up this edition. See what I did there? That'll do it for this edition of NoDQ Live. Thank you all for watching, as always, and thank you to everyone that supports the site either through the Super Chat or you just spread the word. Also pick up a t-shirt. I just wanted to do a quick plug. Starting this Thursday, 20% off all t-shirts. It's the Labor Day / All-In Weekend Pro Wrestling Tees sale. 20% off all merchandise, so head over to NoDQ.com/shirts. Pick up a Big G shirt. He did leave some super chats, so support him. Get a shirt, Big G. Kayfabe Candy Ass has one. Cindy has one. Greg has one. Jeff has one. Interstate Kyle. Virtue has one. Greg Cherry has one. We all got one. I even have one, believe it or not. So head over there, NoDQ.com/shirts. And that will do it for this edition of NoDQ Live. I will see you guys next time.